Brian, NBC Tonight.
I'm Kevin. Everybody calls me Kev.
You're always helping everyone around you.
It's okay. You can trust me.
Letting the stress build. Do you have an off switch?
Chicago PD, new next Wednesday on NBC and Peacock.
This whole block is a crime scene.
This is the highest profile crime of the year.
I'm catching this guy. I'm not waiting for permission.
SVU, Thursday on NBC.
Live from Rhinelander, this is News Watch 12 at 10. The Northwood's best news with Jessica Jukic, meteorologist Chase Ropanak, and Saul Meyer with sports. News from where you live starts now.
Good evening, I'm Jessica Jukic. A new Department of Homeland Security report warns the U.S. threat environment remains high ahead of the election and amid conflict in the Middle East. The annual assessment released Wednesday warns of possible threats from violent extremists driven by the heated political environment in the U.S. The assessment also mentions foreign and domestic threats from terrorist groups and other inspired by conflicts abroad. This report comes amid a wider Middle East conflict after Israel assassinated the head of Hezbollah and began a ground offensive in Lebanon. Iran retaliated on Tuesday by launching nearly 200 missiles at Israel. Meanwhile, the Portage County Sheriff is investigating a case involving a political threat. Authorities say Robert Arnold allegedly made threats towards Democratic politicians. He's accused of leaving a voicemail for Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson saying he would hunt Democrats down. He will make an initial appearance on October 16th, and prosecutors say he will likely face terroristic threat charges. A group of Wausau voters traveled to Madison today to file a complaint asking for an investigation of Mayor Doug Dinney's possible illegal conduct. The group was joined by multiple other political organizations outside of Wisconsin's Department of Justice office in Madison around noon today. They say that Dinney's action to remove the city's ballot box violated not only Wisconsin law, but also federal law. Dinney maintains that it is his wish to ask City Council whether the city needs a ballot drop box. Jeff, it's a cool night. How's it looking for the rest of our week?
Today, perfect, right? High temperatures near 70. Tomorrow, same story, and there's still not a lot of rain or forecast anytime soon. Let's check on high temperatures from today, and look at us. Highs up near 70, pretty much area-wide. Even a few upper 70s across parts of western Wisconsin. That's not normal. The average high temperature is 61, 62. We were all above that today. Right now, though, we're cooling up, but not as quickly as we did last night. It's currently 58 in Rhinelander, still 60 for Shawano. So it's comfortable out there now, and tomorrow's going to be another day with high temperatures up near 70 once again. Without the wind, though, we had wind gusts today near 30 miles per hour, pretty much area-wide. This wind is still with us tonight, but will die down throughout the day tomorrow. All right, lots of clear skies across Wisconsin now, and pretty much for everybody across the Midwest and the Great Lakes. We have clear skies ahead and a nice weather pattern into the weekend. Our forecast going forward, though, is partly cloudy skies to mostly clear skies out there tonight, and low temperatures down near 41. Your full forecast is coming up. Jessica?
Thanks, Jeff. A local resource center for seniors wants to spread the word on what they have to offer. The Aging and Disability Resource Center in Merrill is one of many that help elderly and disabled adults in the surrounding communities in many different ways. Erin Wells is the Director of Aging and Wellness at the ADRC of Central Wisconsin. She said they have many programs to help residents.
What is it that they need in their particular situation to continue to stay independent? We have benefit specialists that can really work on the specific programs like Medicare, Medicaid, private insurance, how all of that interacts.
To continue with the mission of keeping people independent, they also have a Meals on Wheels program to help get food to surrounding residents who may have difficulty cooking.
Sometimes it can be a challenge to know, I'm not going to see anybody today. I'm not going to see anybody this week, depending on their situation, of course. And to be able to have someone to come in, bring a nutritious meal, and checking in on them can keep them feeling comfortable and at home longer than maybe what they normally would have.
For anyone who's interested in getting involved with their programs, Wells says to reach out to any local ADRC. Choosing a career path isn't the easiest thing to do. That's why North Central Technical College in Wausau partnered with the Central Wisconsin organization to make this choice easier. Today, more than 4,000 eighth graders had the opportunity to get a behind-the-scenes look at manufacturing careers like welding and engineering. The Heavy Metal Tour is an annual event held by the Central Wisconsin Manufacturing Alliance to address employee shortages. The tour is meant to inspire students to find interest in the manufacturing careers.
Manufacturing is a really cool work environment, and we do a lot of really cool things right here in central Wisconsin that I think a lot of people don't realize are taking place in the backyards of where they live.
During the tour, students were able to walk through NTC learning labs and discover the educational programs the school has to offer for manufacturing careers. Students also toured Central Wisconsin businesses, receiving a demonstration of the equipment that they use.
I think the coolest thing is to see those aha moments that they have of like, wow, I didn't know that was made here in Wisconsin, or I didn't know this was made here in Wisconsin.
Some of the facility students toured were Wausau Tile and County Materials Corporation. Since starting the tour in 2016, organizers are already hearing success stories of students who decided to go into the manufacturing business from this tour. NTC is excited to continue connecting with students and help them find their passion. Fall means changing leaves, cooler weather, and the beginning of flu season. Our own Austin Carisu spoke to a physician's assistant in Woodruff to learn more about the potentially deadly virus.
It's really important to prevent it.
The CDC estimates that the flu has resulted in 9.3 million and 41 million illnesses, 100,000 to 710,000 hospitalizations, and 4,900 to 51,000 deaths annually between 2010 and 2023. Wisconsin has recorded 3,853 hospitalizations for influenza this season.
People that are really susceptible to the flu are the young, so under 5 years of age, and people 65 and up. Also, if you have any chronic diseases, you have a weak immune system, are pregnant, you're more likely to get the flu and maybe have complications.
The flu generally peaks in December due to weather changes and closer contact amongst people, especially children in schools. Meza says that washing your hands often and cleaning surfaces are some of the best ways to prevent the spread.
The flu vaccine is number one. That's really important to help prevent the flu. Other things you can do is keep your hands well washed, washing your hands throughout the day. Don't touch your eyes, your nose, or your mouth. If you're sick, stay home. Try to stay away from other people that are sick.
The symptoms can vary from person to person, but some are more common than others.
The symptoms generally are fever, chills, headache. You can have all kinds of all-over body aches, feeling really tired, sore throat, runny nose. Occasionally there's some vomiting, diarrhea, but that's usually more common in kids.
If you do become sick, Meza says that there are many methods to overcome the illness.
There are antiviral treatments, especially if taken early, it can reduce the severity or the duration of the illness. Otherwise, conservative measures, resting, getting plenty of fluids, using over-the-counter medications to help with those symptoms.
Reporting in Woodruff, Austin Carisu, Newswatch 12.
Great tips. Thank you, Austin. Recovery efforts are underway after Hurricane Helene hit. Coming up, we'll have a look at the damage left behind after Weather with Jeff right here on Newswatch 12.
It seems like everyone in Washington is either too far left or too far right. I'm Rebecca Cook, and like most folks in Wisconsin, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'll stand up to Democrats to fight for a secure border and stop wasteful spending. I'll stand up to extremists like Derek Van Orden, who wants to ban all abortions with no exceptions. Like you, I'm fed up and ready for change. I approve this message because it's time that we sent one of us to Congress.
Kamala Harris is going to significantly raise taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
Kamala's plan will raise families' taxes by nearly $2,600 a year. Under Kamala, prices have already soared. Now she'd make it worse with even higher taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
President Trump will cut taxes again. No taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Get an 11% rebate on everything at Menards. Midwest Master is an all-purpose grass seed mix that starts growing fast and blends well into existing lawns. A 15-pound bag covers more than 3,700 square feet and is $39.99 after rebate. Owens Corning shingles are designed for long-lasting protection with up to a 130 miles per hour wind and limited lifetime warranty. Choose from over 40 options. Get an 11% rebate on all Owens Corning shingles.
Save big money at Menards. You've probably seen all these negative ads against me. Well, here's the deal. They are designed to tear us apart. But here's the truth. My life's work has been fighting on behalf of others. It's why I became a prosecutor, district attorney, and attorney general. I took on drug cartels and human traffickers to protect our communities. Look, everyone is tired of the petty, destructive politics. Let's turn the page and chart a new way forward. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message. This is Bidenomics. Bidenomics.
2/3 of registered voters believe the economy is getting worse.
And we are very proud of Bidenomics.
The rising gas prices, food prices really walloped the black community.
Imagine a mother who's making minimum wage trying to feed children. They're killing us without killing us.
That is called Bidenomics.
Restoration PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Leisure City, your backyard headquarters of the North.
Another full day of sunshine out there today makes you wonder, when are we going to pay for this? It's coming, right? But just not yet, with high temperatures up near 70 across the area today. We'll do it again tomorrow and also probably for Friday, followed by somewhat cooler temperatures on Sunday into Monday. But for right now, temperatures hanging out near 60 still in Rhinelander. Clear skies here. A southwest breeze at 10 has died down now, and the pressure is steady. Over in Wausau, 60 for you, with that southwest breeze at 8, and the dew point there incredibly low. Dry air still locked in place at 37 right now. Around the horn, temperatures hanging out pretty much uniformly near 60 right now. It will not be as cool tonight as it was last night. We'll likely have low temperatures in the low 40s across the region tonight. But here's the bigger picture, right? So off to the west of us, still even warmer temperatures there. There were 90s across the plains today. It is October, but you see it, don't you? The blue stuff right there. At some point, that's going to be dislodged up here and come down this way. I don't see it happening quite yet, but you know it's going to be soon, as we are now in October. Going forward, though, temperature-wise, so near 70 tomorrow and for Friday and for Saturday. A bit cooler for us Sunday, Monday, but then right back up again, upper 60s, low 70s, Tuesday, Wednesday, and probably Thursday and Friday of next week. The wind today was a factor, wasn't it? We had a gusty southwest wind. It gave temperatures a boost. We had wind gusts near 35 miles per hour at times earlier. It is dying down, but not to zero. It still could rattle your windows just a bit tonight. But overall, the gust earlier today, 33 here in Rhinelander. Stevens Point, a gust near 30 as well. So making waves on the lakes today. It will not be as windy across the area for tomorrow. But it's also blowing around. No allergens out there right now. Tree, grass, weed, and mold all in the low category. Finally, it basically took all summer to get numbers like this, and it's happening, right? All right, dew points out there. So this air, again, incredibly dry air locked in place, like living in Phoenix, Arizona. You can't get rain with dew points like this, and again, there's no rain in the area right now. Or off to the west of us, there's just nothing happening here as high pressure has built in, and we have a nice stretch of weather coming our way. There may be a sprinkle in the air. I know, it's all we're going to get. Late Saturday into Sunday morning from this system here, but other than that, we are dry the next 7 or so days around here. Mostly clear, a bit breezy out there tonight. Low temperatures down near 41 with that northwest wind gusting near 15 to 20. For tomorrow, lots of sunshine again. Highs reaching for 70. We might do it with the southwest breeze around 5 to 10. Then looking ahead, your 7-day forecast shows near 70 tomorrow and for Friday and for Saturday. Lots of sunshine this weekend. Again, there could be a quick shower late Saturday to Sunday, and then even warmer temperatures Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. Jessica?
For Hurricane Helene hit Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, and North Carolina hard. Now hundreds of roads remain closed, and one of the biggest response hurdles remains decimated power and communication grids. At last check, at least 189 people were reported dead, and that number is expected to climb in the days ahead. Sherelle Hubbard has more on recovery efforts that are underway.
The worst of Hurricane Helene may still be untold.
We are still searching.
Hundreds of people are believed to be missing. In one Tennessee community Wednesday, loved ones held up photos.
What about these families that are waiting to hear about their families? When are they going to get the closure they need?
Anxiously awaiting status updates on their loved ones.
We are trying our best to bring answers and closure to families about their loved ones.
More than 4,500 federal personnel are helping in recovery efforts in hard-struck areas. FEMA says the terrain in some areas may complicate recovery efforts.
As we look at the infrastructure damages to water, to the cell lines, to power, the ability to get those turned back on is going to be complicated just by the way Appalachia is configured.
With many failed roads, many crucial supplies are being delivered by airdrop and in some cases, mule train. Wednesday afternoon, Vice President Kamala Harris toured debris in Augusta, Georgia.
There's a lot of work that's going to need to happen over the coming days, weeks, and months.
Also Wednesday, President Joe Biden finally getting a first-hand look at the cataclysmic conditions left in Helene's wake in western North Carolina. He pledged every available resource to assist in the recovery efforts.
The United States, the nation, has your back. The nation has your back. We're not leaving till you're back on your feet completely.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
The president ordered the deployment of up to 1,000 active duty soldiers to help speed up delivery of crucial aid in stricken communities in North Carolina. Xcel Energy is also sending more than 100 employees from Minnesota, Wisconsin, and a few other states to help restore power. Democrats are spending twice as much as Republicans in Wisconsin, according to the latest campaign finance report. The Democratic Party of Wisconsin brought in more than $6 million between August 22nd and September 23rd. So far, they've spent $4.3 million on races across the state. Meanwhile, Republicans brought in more than $3.5 million over the same period and spent around $2.1 million. Since the start of the year, Wisconsin Democrats have raised over $20 million, with Republicans bringing in less than $5 million. Millions of students across the country cannot afford college without financial aid. And on Tuesday, the Department of Education began testing a new version of a critical financial aid form known as FAFSA. Congress mandated the department streamline the application process to deliver more money to college students. But when the department tried to revamp its form last year, it caused more problems. Some students did not get the aid they needed on time for this current academic year. So the Department of Education will conduct testing on the 2025-2026 form to make sure it works properly before the department makes it public in December. The Milwaukee Brewers were in a win-or-go-home situation. Coming up, we'll tell you if they were able to survive or if their season ended at home.
I'm a nurse in Wisconsin, and my patients don't want politicians like Eric Hovde making their healthcare decisions.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
Hovde means what he says about opposing reproductive rights.
Eric Hovde supported overturning Roe v. Wade, which led to an abortion ban in Wisconsin.
And that's a ban with no exceptions for rape or incest.
What Hovde supports criminalizes abortion and doctors like me.
We need to vote against Eric Hovde.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
When you have moderate to severe eczema, it's okay to show off. With Dupixent, show off your clearer skin and less itch. Because you have plenty of reasons to show off your skin. With Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists, you can stay ahead of your eczema. It helps block a key source of inflammation inside the body that can cause eczema to help heal your skin from within. Many adults saw 90% clearer skin. Some even achieved long-lasting clearer skin and fast itch relief after first dose. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Show off to the world. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
Why take the hit on this 2024 GMC when you can save $7,000 on this used 2023? If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Come out to Len's Truck today. We have hundreds of high-quality used trucks, all priced to move. Go now to lenstruck.com. That's lenstruck.com.
Len's Truck. Len's Truck. We got the trucks at Len's Truck.
Coming up on Newswatch 12 today, we'll be joined by Cranberry Dave of Lake Nokomis Cranberries.
And we'll continue to stay dry. My cold temperatures will be above average in the 60s and lower 70s the rest of this week.
The Milwaukee Brewers stared elimination in the eye tonight in Game 2 of the National League Wildcard Series against the New York Mets. A win would force a Game 3, a loss would end the season. We go to Milwaukee now, where our own Drew Chelly is live on the field. Drew?
Thank you, Saul. If you watched Game 2 tonight, you watched the introduction of a superstar on the national stage. If you didn't, you're about to find out what I'm talking about. So let's get right into the Game 2 action. Here he is, 20 years old, bottom of the first inning, Jackson Chourio, a solo home run. That is his first career postseason home run, and that would tie this game up at 1 apiece. The Mets would have a response in the top of the second. Francisco Alvarez, a base hit. That would bring in a run after a crucial Brewers error. The Mets would take a 3-1 lead in the inning. Let's go all the way into the 8th inning. It's now a 3-2 game. It's the rookie again, Jackson Chourio, his second home run of the night, 20 years old. One of the most clutch performances you'll see. He ties this game up at 3. A couple batters later, Garrett Mitchell, his first at bat of the night to deep right center field. This one is just going to get over the wall. That is a 2-run home run. This place erupted, and that gave the Brewers a 5-3 lead. And in the top of the 9th, Devin Williams on to close, and very fittingly, the final fly ball of this game right into the glove of the 20-year-old rising superstar. The Brewers, they come back, and they find a way to win this game 5-3. So the Brewers stay alive. They were down to their final 6 outs. But we have a Game 3 tomorrow. When that will be is still to be determined. But there will be baseball here tomorrow in Milwaukee. Brewers-Mets, Game 3. Brewers take Game 2 here in Milwaukee. I'm Drew Chelly, Newswatch 12.
Thanks for that, Drew. The Green Bay Packers are going to L.A. The Packers are taking their talents to the West Coast for their upcoming matchup with the Los Angeles Rams. They're looking to bounce back from their home loss to the Minnesota Vikings and get a win on the road. Now, they're taking on a different Rams team from last year, where L.A. is without their star defensive lineman Aaron Donald, who retired at the end of last season. Last year, Packers head coach Matt LaFleur said that facing a player like Donald will make you cry. Now he gets to face a team without him.
He is one-on-one. There's not too many guys that can wreck a game like he can, but I have been impressed by this group. I mean, they're a lot younger up front. Obviously, the effort stands out across the board.
This Rams team is also very injured and will be without their top 2 wide receivers on Sunday. But Coach LaFleur isn't taking that lightly with who LA has under center.
That's tough. I mean, when you lose your top 2 guys and 2 guys that are premier receivers in this league, but, you know, they still got the guy delivering the football that's one of the best in the business.
The Packers will take on the Rams and Matthew Stafford this Sunday at around 3:30 p.m. Let's take a look at the NFC North standings before the games start up this week. The Minnesota Vikings are in first place as one of the only 2 undefeated teams left in the NFL. After them, it's the 3-1 Detroit Lions, then the Chicago Bears in third and the Packers in fourth because the Packers have a worse division record than the Bears, who haven't played a divisional game yet compared to the Packers being 0-1 against NFC North teams. The Wisconsin Wendigo are a few weeks into their season and look to have picked up right where they left off last year. The Wendigo are 6-1 and just swept their NAHL showcase and are looking to keep up their winning ways at home this Friday. And here's what the standings look like before that matchup. The Wendigo are in first place by 1 point. Then it's the 3 Alaska teams to round out the top half of the standings. After them, it's the Chippewa Steel, the Minnesota Wilderness, the Springfield Junior Blues, and the Janesville Jets to round out the rest of the standings. We'll be right back after the break.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Fentanyl is killing over 1,000 people a year in Wisconsin. New reporting shows that Eric Hubdy is doing business with a bank accused of links to the Mexican drug cartel. Banco Azteca loaded up $26 million in cash in fluid to Eric Hubdy's bank in California. Other U.S. banks have cut ties with this Mexican bank, but Eric Hubdy took their money. That's 26 million more reasons you can't trust Eric Hubdy.
Taco John's new 2 for $5 Fiesta Chicken Tacos are here to Fiesta. Grilled old white meat chicken is here to Fiesta. And creamy Fiesta sauce is obviously here to Fiesta. That's kind of its thing. New 2 for $5 Fiesta Chicken Tacos at Taco John's.
Yiling Zhang's policies will crush Wausau. Massive tax hikes, gas and grocery prices skyrocketing even more. And Zhang is part of an extreme group that wants to defund the police and decriminalize all drugs. Families struggling with inflation and unsafe streets. Yiling Zhang, just too dangerous for Wausau. Fortunately, Pat Snyder always delivers, helping families and seniors with rising costs. Pat Snyder also secured funding for local law enforcement and expanded healthcare access. Pat Snyder for Assembly.
This is Ford Truck Month, with big offers on the trucks that don't subscribe to the word impossible. Like the off-road ready Ranger, the adaptable Maverick, plus F-Series, America's best-selling trucks, featuring the 2024 Ford F-150, and Super Duty, the North American Truck of the Year, all with offers that make owning one possible. This is Ford Truck Month. Lease a new Ford F-150 STX for $329 a month for 36 months, only at your local Wisconsin Ford dealer.
A suspected Venezuelan gang member who was arrested for domestic battery.
Violently attacked a woman physically and sexually.
The border crisis is real here in Wisconsin.
Criminal gangs harming our community.
We're stretched thin. Open borders and weak politicians are crushing us.
Rebecca Cook is one of them. She doesn't back law enforcement. She'll never secure the border. Doesn't even want to.
That's why we stand with Derek Van Orton. He has our back.
And I've got yours. I'm Derek Van Orton, and I approve this message.
Your home is more than just a roof, walls, and windows. It's an investment, a place where memories are made with family and friends. Overhead Solutions is here to help you with all of your roofing needs.
Winning a bear tag is a little bit like winning a lottery. Fewer than 1 in 10 applicants receive a tag in Wisconsin. An Eagle River hunter waited 13 years for a tag, but when he finally did get one, he made it count. Alan Queoff bagged a 200-pound bear last month. For years, Queoff has been paying for what's called preference points, which increased his chance every year of winning a tag, and that patience paid off.
Oh, I felt great. It was a long wait. It was worth it. The bear hunt was, bear hunting is not easy. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of preparation, and I did a lot of pre-scouting and pre-baiting for like a month ahead of time.
He now gets to tell the tale of his first bear hunt, taking an easy shot on a 200-pound male black bear that required very little tracking and a freezer full of fresh bear meat. He is already thinking about applying for another tag, even though it might be another 13 years before he gets lucky. We'll be right back.
Come
Kamala Harris is going to significantly raise taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
Kamala's plan will raise families' taxes by nearly $2,600 a year. Under Kamala, prices have already soared. Now she'd make it worse with even higher taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
President Trump will cut taxes again. No taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
With bugs, the struggle is real. That's why you need Zevo traps. Zevo attracts and traps bugs 24/7 using a blue and UV light with no odor and no mess for effortless protection. Zevo, people friendly, bug deadly.
Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors. Easy to apply for the whole family. Vicks VapoStick. And try new Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
I thought these were $6.
In 2019, but not since Biden and Kamala.
That's a little jarring.
Just like housing, fuel, even beer.
Tom.
Sorry, Mom. But that's why I voted against the wasteful Washington spending, and I'm working to preserve more of your paycheck and put the good stuff back on your table.
Keep the change.
And no tax on tips.
Finally, a good deal.
Just wait till November. I'm Tom Tiffany, and I approve this message.
Stay ahead of your child's moderate to severe eczema. And they can show off clearer skin and less itch with Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists that helps heal your child's skin from within. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your child's eczema specialist about Dupixent.
Welcome to Leisure City, where relieving stress and bringing more fun into your life is what we're all about. You'll notice new faces around, but we're still delivering the same great service we have since 1985. Come see our full lineup of hot tubs in a variety of sizes and styles. We're sure to have that perfect fit for you and your family. Check out our full line of indoor-outdoor patio furniture. That's Leisure City, your backyard headquarters of the North.
Tune in to News Watch 12 evenings on October 11th for Your Voice, Your Vote with Jim Holprin and Joe Handrick.
All right, Saul and Jessica, look at this map. Here we are at, 10:31 with temperatures near 60 still across our region. That's not normal. The average high temperature is 61, 62. We are still kind of near that at this time of day. All right, so satellite picture shows lots of clear skies across the state right now. Likely staying that way. This air is incredibly dry. We'll get a few more clouds across the area tomorrow, likely no rainfall. In fact, our next chance for rainfall, meaningful chance, most likely not until late Saturday into Sunday. We could get some rainfall Saturday night, and then more dry weather Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, even warmer temperatures next week.
I'm kind of looking forward to a little bit of rain. Maybe not on a blitz day.
Saturday night.
We'll take it on a Wednesday.
On a Friday.
Give me rain one week from today.
Night. Late. Dark.
Thanks, Jeff. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a great night.
Saturday night.
You know what?
Fentanyl is one of the most lethal drugs on the market. This much can kill thousands. These deadly drugs are pouring across our border. But Biden, Harris, and Democrats have done nothing to stop it. Tammy Baldwin claims she's trying, but she's failed. She took credit for an anti-fentanyl bill she didn't write and opposed efforts to secure the border. Senator Baldwin and Democrats have done nothing, and our communities are paying the price.
I'm Eric Hovde. I approve this message.
Did you know more than 1/3 of adults don't get enough sleep at night? Hi, I'm Kristen from Sleep Central on Highway 51 South in Minocqua, your bedding and futon headquarters. Our specialty sleep shop is committed to helping you sleep. We carry the largest selection of name brand mattresses in northern Wisconsin, in stock and ready for delivery. With a wide variety of futons and unique bedroom furniture with quality all-wood construction, as well as accessories to complement your bedding, we are your one-stop sleep shop. Sleep Central. Better sleep, pain-free, that's our promise.
We need real working people in Washington.
What a phony. Cook spent the last decade working as a political operative.
earned her money helping defund the police radicals like Mandela Barnes, the most anti-police candidate in Wisconsin history. Now, Cook won't let you protect your family. She wants to ban the most popular rifle in the country, earning an F from the NRA. Rebecca Cook, phony insider, dangerously liberal.
I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
Keep your home safe with an 11% rebate at Menards. Fire Safety Month is here. From smoke and carbon monoxide alarms to fire extinguishers and more. Get a home safety products. Keep your family protected in case of emergencies. Get a direct wire smoke alarm for $22.95 after rebate. Keep your guns and ammunition secured with Sports Afield gun safes. We have multiple sizes available to fit your needs. The Denali Fireproof 32 gun safe is $699.98 after 11%.